how did you first meet Paul Thomas Anderson, and what was it about him that made you think, "Hey, this guy knows what he's doing. He has the storytelling ability. He certainly has the talent."
Well, I was doing a play at the Los Angeles Theater Center, and there was uh, there was a guy playing a role in the play, an actor. He's a good actor too. Forgive me for not remember his name. I really, I see, I can still remember lines, which I can, but I do have trouble with names, no doubt about it. Um, uh, Playing my son, and he knew Paul Thomas Anderson. I didn't know Paul Thomas Anderson, although I was acquainted with his dad, but only through a friend of a friend of a friend,
Hmm.
um, Ernie Anderson, who was, I don't know if this is generally known, but his dad was he was a voiceover guy,
Huh.
and he was at the very top of the voiceover business. He was one of the legendary voiceover guys in the business. Ernie Anderson was.
What did he narrate? What did he work on?
Oh, I don't know what he narrated. Commercials.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, that's where the money is in voiceover business in the commercials, because you get paid for each time it plays radio commercials and TV too, but it's radio where the big money used to be made by by commercial by actors who did voiceover commercials. Um, anyway, so no, I didn't know Paul at all, and this actor he had done something with Paul, and he said that Paul had a script that he needed an older actor for. The actor who led me to Paul was a young actor, or younger, probably 30 or so. Um, and he said that he had mentioned my name to Paul, and he said, Paul said, "Oh, I have a copy of Secret Honor, and I loved him in Secret Honor."
Hmm.
So oh, he said, "You know him." Paul said to him, um, "Well, he's right for a role I have in a short film that I'm writing. Ask him if he'd be interested." So then this actor in a rehearsal said, "By the way, there's an actor and there's a writer named Paul Thomas Anderson." He said, "Who's written a role in a movie, short movie, no pay, just a short movie, uh, but like a student film. Would you?" And he brought me the script for it. I said, "Well, I'd love to read it." I think I was doing Death of a Salesman. I think it was starting rehearsal for Death of a Salesman at that time. Um, and so I said, I read it, and I was kind of knocked out by the quality of the writing. I said, "This writing is pretty, pretty high level." I said, "It's really kind of astounding." I said, "Yes, I would love to do this." So then we set up a meeting, and I met Paul, and then the three of us, him, a young woman actress, and the young man that I knew, that was the bridge that the three of us did in the short movie called Coffee and Cigarettes, or is it Cigarettes and Coffee? I can never remember. Whatever it is, it was a really small version of what Hard Eight turned out to be, although quite different. But still, the seeds are there for what turned out to be Hard Eight. And we met, and then we met on the movie. And while we were there, it turned out that because even a small movie requires money to fund it, and he had a lot of professional people working on it, working on the sound and on the camera. And one of the women who was sort of a sponsor of it was a woman called Judith Rutherford Marischal, who was a producer at CBS and somewhere in his or his father's circle of friends. And Judy had been the producer of a play off Broadway that was very successful that I had done in New York.
Huh.
And so it was like, oh my God, there's Judy. And then I learned that earlier on, when he was considering using me, that she apparently had already vouched for me. Yes, he's a really good actor. He was in my play in New York that I produced in New York. So Paul and I became friendly, and we did the movie. And after we finished the movie, a few weeks He called me and he said he was putting it together. It really looked great. He said, however, a lot of it was screwed up technically. He said that we should reshoot some portions of it, quite a bit of it actually, and that would I do it, because there was nothing involved in terms of money. And again, the writing was so extraordinary. And by now, Paul and I had become friends. So I said, sure, of course I'll do it. So we did it. And it was quite a redo because it way outside of LA where we did it at a diner halfway to I don't know where. Anyway, we redid it. And I guess whatever he needed, because I never saw the version that he said didn't work right. Whatever he needed, he got on the second doing. And then after that, or sometime after that, that he called me and said, I'm working on a script. He said, I think you'll like it. He said, I'm about done with it. I'm going to send you a copy of it. And that's when he sent a copy of what was called Sydney then. And what turned out to be Hard Eight. So, and I read that and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Again, the writing was so dense and multi-layered that it was unbelievable. It was truly unbelievable. It was like Shakespeare just dropped in the door. It's like, where did this come from? This is not ordinary. It's a good name. By that time, I'd seen hundreds and hundreds of scripts. I knew what an original script looked like, or a new script looked like. And this was like nothing I had ever seen in terms of the clarity and the density and just the power of the writing.
It must have been surprising given that he was only 23 at the time.
Yeah, that was really surprising. That was, it was shocking. It was shocking. Yeah.
Hey, if you enjoyed this video, click on the link below to watch the full interview. And while you're here, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.